this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm back again with that altered book that I'm working on, keeping it kind of pretty vintage and yeah, just mainly using authentic vintage things, and hopefully keeping it in a bit of a neutral theme. Whether I manage to pull that one off is a whole nother thing, but yeah, that's what we're kind of going for in the first place. So yeah, I just want to kind of continue on really and, you know, start filling some of the other pages up. So I've got here some, you know, cover of some vintage sheet music. I'd used this, a portion of this somewhere else already in here. And I thought, let's just come along and kind of make something else with this that's going to kind of slot into the journal as well. So I think probably what I want to do is cut it down in the first instance. So I'm going to just cut it down about here, like this. Okay, so by doing this, I've got obviously this portion that I can carry on and, you know, tear up and use in some other pieces. And then, yeah, this is quite similar. One seems to be like vocal series, this one says song series, so yeah, they're kind of pretty much the same you know, layout and kind of look the same. It's only when you stop and read it that you realize it's saying something different. So I'm just going to make a little fold out piece like this, okay, that can then just slot onto a page. Now again, like we said before, this is actually quite tiny. You know, it's not the widest book, so I kind of need to just be mindful of that and not make this too bulky, because of course then it wouldn't really, you know, or too wide, it wouldn't then fit onto the page. So, but yeah, this should be fine. So I'm going to have it like that, and I think then just grabbing some coffee dyed paper, yeah, just put some sheets I think inside here. So let's just take that down there. Okie dokie. So that's it, and then we can just staple this just across the top. So just do 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then I'm just going to trim it down on this side because, as you can see, it's slightly too wide for this at the moment. So just bring it in slightly on the edge. There we go. Okay, looking good. And that can just then literally glue onto there. So then all I want to really do is kind of decorate this on the outside. So let's just have a look and see. I mean, like I say, I'm trying to just be really good and use mainly just vintage pieces. So, I mean, I don't mind if I have the odd thing that's not vintage, but if I can, I would prefer to use, you know, just vintage things. So let's just have a look. I could have this. And then, for instance, that in there. That's quite nice, isn't it? Yeah, I quite like that. Might even be able to have a bit of doily. This is just, you know, leftovers from the stuff I used on a previous page. Yeah, I mean, that looks really lovely, doesn't it? And then we could just put some lace down the bottom. I mean, I think that looks really, really nice. And a lot of this stuff is already discoloured, so, you know, it doesn't necessarily need, you know, inking or anything, because obviously it is all vintage stuff anyway. Oh, my glue now. Oh, dear. Right, let me just unclog my glue. Okay. I mean, that's only because I haven't used it yet today. It's a little bit resistant to wanting to be used. Right, okay. So, oops. Trying to not dab my nails because I've just that second painted them, ready to do the video. So, yeah, I'm absolutely terrible for I paint them to come on to do the video, and then of course I don't really give them long enough to dry, and before I know it, I've dabbed them off on everything, and they just look awful. Absolutely awful. Probably be better not having them painted at all because they look so terrible. But I just always think, you know, I'm sure nobody wants to, or nobody's come on to just see my nails, have they? So yeah, but I will try my best not to dab them too much. Right, so then we could have a bit of doily perhaps, and then the photo just there. Looks pretty like that. Yeah. Yeah, I think that looks good. Now, just wondering, do we want to have a magnet there? Let me just have a quick look through what I've got here. Yeah, I've got some magnets, which, now, if I were to have this, no, 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 right, okay. So, yeah, I'm thinking I could have the magnetic closure and maybe this little sort of button piece. I think that was off of a, I think it was off of a belt recently. So, yeah, but what I'm wondering is if I could put this magnet under the photograph. So let me just check that it will magnetize through there. So, yeah, I think it will. So, right, let's put the doily down. This is the same doily that I used in the last video that I did, you know, making this book. And I think this could be food coloured rather than you know, coffee dyed, but anyway, it's fine. It's giving the same overall effect. So, right, get my magnets. So yeah, I think what we want to do is, oops, let's just put those together. So I like to just glue down, say, on this side of the flap, because this is where I have to be slightly more careful. So then I know roughly where I need it to go on this side, if you see what I mean. So all I do is obviously peel off the backing. Now, I often quite like to add a bit of extra glue just to make sure it's really stuck down properly, like that. Okay, and then I know my magnets, they're just exactly in the right place. Now, I have to say, been really extravagant with those magnets. I probably didn't need anywhere near such huge magnets. I could have cut them down, you know, and have much less. But yeah, doesn't matter. We've got huge ones now. That's fine. Right. So let's glue this down here. Okay. Probably a bit of glue on there as well. So yeah, like that. Okay, so like that, and like that. So yeah, really love how that looks. Now I'm just going to ink up a little bit onto the, you know, the, yeah, this stuff. I mean, as I say, it is vintage, so, you know, it's not the end of the world, but it is quite grey looking, so let's just kind of brown it up instead a bit. Okay, and down here, and just over here a bit. Okay. Okay, right. Okay, right, let's glue this in. Oops. Glue my pad. Oh, I keep meaning to order some more glue sticks and I keep forgetting. So I must order some more glue sticks. Cannot keep talking about it. I must just order some. What happens is as soon as I leave my desk, I obviously forget all about it. You know, I'm only kind of aware that I need to order some whilst I'm actually sat here. Once I've gone, you know, gone from the desk, it's kind of out of my mind and I forget that I actually still need to get some. So that's why I've now still not actually ordered some. Right. Okay, so I'm thinking maybe some lace along here. Oh, that's so gorgeous, isn't it? So, and again, this is not vintage lace. This is just, you know, one of my go-to laces that I like to use. But it discolours wonderfully. It, you know, it inks up really well. And to be honest, I think it does look quite vintage, even though it is not a vintage lace at all. I think it's quite vintage looking. It's got quite a sort of vintage, authentic type look to it. So yeah, I'm just going to put that like that. Right, I'm using my last glue stick. Must remember to order some more sticks. Ah, probably won't be able to get them on next day delivery, but we'll see. Right, so glue that lace down there like that, and then my metal piece, I'm just going to then hot glue here, just in the center, you know, roughly where the magnet is, like that. Oh my goodness, how gorgeous does that look? Absolutely love how that looks. Right, so I'm thinking that can go on that page there. And then the facing page, this is just a flimsy page for just journaling. So again, you know, I've talked about the flimsy pages, and I will probably just leave that plain, you know, to just actually journal on. I maybe will put something on there, maybe a stamp or something, you know, but on the whole, I will just leave that kind of as plain as I possibly can. You know, just so it's a journaling space rather than a decorative page, or, you know, rather than anything embellished. And I know I did talk about this in the last video, but the reason I kind of do that really is because if it's a single page, I mean, this has got no weight to it at all. It's very flimsy. It is obviously just a book page. And, I mean, obviously you do want some nice pages for just journaling in. But alongside that is the fact that if it's just a flimsy, lightweight page, it's not going to be able to really take the weight. I'm just going to do the other page as well, just because once I've glued things on, it'll be harder to ink this up. So I'll just ink it up now. Yeah, the reason being is because obviously once you've kind of put something heavy and weighty on there, i.e. this, for example, it would be too heavy for a single thickness page, is my opinion. You know, I'm not necessarily saying that that's definitely the case, but I feel it would be too, you know, too flimsy to actually take the weight of this particular piece. So this one, I'm now just going to glue this down, and I'm just going to glue it on. Whoops, sorry, every time I pick up my hot glue gun, it's got a wipe stuck on it. So just going to glue it on 3 sides like that. Pop that down like that. Okay. That's it. And then, like I say, this side, I would either leave this completely plain for journaling, or, you know, and maybe at the end we'll just maybe put a little bit of lace on there. I could paper clip something on here, you know. Again, it's all about just keeping the weight down. So, I mean, if there was something kind of, you know, that I wanted to put on, I would just probably, yeah, paper clip it rather than try and glue it, because I think that would be a bit more, you know, forgiving, and kind of, you know, you could get away with that. So yeah, that's a kind of journaling page there. So let's go now back through. So come to here, and I talked about this previously as well. I like to jump around in the books when I'm decorating them, and you know, this is now another day to when I worked on the previous pages. So I like to jump around because I always think, you know, I might be feeling a different style on a different day. I might have less of certain materials left on a different day. You know, all of those kinds of things. I don't want it to look like I've done, you know, everything on one day, and then suddenly I come to it another day and then I'm like working in a completely different style. I want it to have a sort of like a flexibility, I suppose, to it, slash, you know, I guess arrangement, that actually it could have been any day that I was working on it. You know, you wouldn't be able to flick through and think, oh, she's worked on that all on the same day, because look, those are the same style for all of those pages. You know, I want it to be kind of a bit more flexible than that. So here I've just got a glassine envelope. Again, this is some of the lovely things that I had received in that Happy Mail from, or the swap that I did with Jessica Rapp all those years ago. Again, I've been hoarding them, but yeah, going to just pull this in now. Now I'm thinking, oh, I might just have that like that. So let me just glue this down, because what I'm thinking is actually, instead of gluing this onto the page, maybe decorate this envelope up and then just have it paper clipped on, but with the pieces, obviously, you know, some bits and pieces in there. So let's have a look and see what we want to put on to decorate it. Oh, that's not a very exciting picture, is it? Let's see what else I've got. Oh, I seem to have quite a few wedding pictures, but they're, of course, they're not the right way. It's not too bad if I were to have it that way round. Just see if I've got any other portrait ones. No. Oh. Look at that cute picture. How gorgeous is that? I love how that looks. It's so sweet. Or I have this one of this man, which weirdly I don't mind that. I mean, I know it's not the most attractive picture, but I love the colour of that picture. I like the background of that picture. So yeah, even though it's not necessarily, you know, lovely, it's quite nice, isn't it? The overall kind of look of it. So let's just see what else we could have on here. Look. So I'm kind of thinking something like that. Now, do we want some book page or something layered up with him? Just having a look around to see what else I've got sort of that's, you know, just laying around on the desk that would be good to use. So here, for example, I've just got this bit of book page. So yeah, let me just tear this down. So what we could do is have something like that, just to kind of make a bit more of it in the background like that. And then, right, let me glue this together. Oops. Right, let me just bring this out into here. Right, let's glue this down onto the book page. Okay, like that. Let me just move my camera slightly, sorry. Right, hopefully that's a bit better. So we glue that down, and then I'm thinking something else maybe from the sheet music. You know, like one of those kind of texty parts of the sheet music. So let me just ink up the lace. So if we wanted to have the lace on there. Now this envelope is a bit discoloured anyway, so I don't think it really needs a great deal of colouring. It's looking kind of coloured-y enough. Okay, right. So something like that. And then I've got a couple of those seals, the wax seals that I think we rejected these last time, but I'm wondering whether we could use them this time. That looks quite nice, doesn't it? And then I'm so sorry about my creaky chair. I really must, yeah, probably get a new chair, to be honest, but okay. There's nothing on there that I'm loving. Let's have a look at this piece. I love using these kind of little header type pieces from, well, from anything really, but sheet music or, you know, book page or whatever. Let's take that. Oh, I need to be a bit careful here how I'm trying to tear this, because there's not a great deal to work with, but anyway. So again, just then ink that up a bit. Okay. So yeah, I mean, that's quite nice, isn't it? And then I've just got a little tiny piece here. Wow, that's really titchy, isn't it? But just pull that off. Okay, oh my goodness. Can barely see it, it's so tiny. Yeah, I mean, something like that. It doesn't really need very much, but just some other stuff to kind of like work it in, really. Now I am just wondering whether I could have any actual sheet music. So let me just have a look and see what I've got in the line of actual sheet music. Hold on. Oops. Book page. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, here we go. Right. So I've got some actual sheet music here. So let's have a look. Okay. Let's just see if we want to have any. Oh. Yeah, seems to have a bit much edge. I think you can't really see a great deal of it, but we would have that like that. I mean, it's just about kind of layering it up, really, isn't it? But you know, those layers all do kind of make a difference, don't they? Or maybe we should have this up here and that on there. Just tear that down. Okay, pop the lace on. Okay. Yeah, that's quite nice, I think. So yeah, let's pop this down. Like that, okay. Like that. Okie dokie. And then this I love on top of it, so just pop that down on top of that sheet music. Like that. And then this bit of lace, we're just going to attach this slightly. Like that, just coming off to the side. And then this here going on top. Now I may have to kind of reinforce this with a bit of hot glue in a minute as well. Only because obviously it's going over that lace and, you know, it would just take a little while to glue otherwise, you know, through the lace. So let's just pop it down like that. Okay. Like that. And then here, just pop this on, oops, maybe up there or something like that. So again, just going to use the hot glue just for, you know, sheer ease, basically. Okie dokie. Right, let's now just give this a helping hand with the hot glue. Like that. Okay. And then the bow and the wax seal. I don't even know whether I need the bow and the wax seal. I will revisit that, I think, in a minute. So let's just hook that on to the side of that page. Obviously this is now not really glued down yet, but let's just press that down like that. And then if we were to have this here, like that. It's quite nice, isn't it? Oh, should have really pressed all these bits down on here for a while before trying to use this, because of course they're not really glued down yet. Just because, you know, it's a bit resistant to the glassine type stuff, you know, so it takes a little while to actually stick and adhere to that properly. Right, now just before I go for that, I'm just going to check, you know, with the ivory ribbon that we used previously, and just see whether I might prefer to keep it much more colourless and just have the ivory. Yeah, I do, I think. So let's just take that down. Okay, and again, just glue that. Okay. Snip off those little bits. 1 and 2. Okay, and then this one here, like that. So, I mean, that looks really nice, doesn't it? So we'll just put this on here like that. Okay. And then this one here. Like that. Oh, that's really nice, isn't it? So, you know, I mean, it is obviously just an envelope. So we're going to have some bits and pieces in the envelope. But, yeah, looks very pretty. And then on the facing page, so just on, you know, on this side, we could just finish it with something like a little pad. And I did do a whole bunch of little pads the other day. So we could just have something like that up there, which I think looks really lovely. So we'll just glue that down. Like that. Okay. And then going along the top of here, or across the top, because I've just stapled that on, probably want to have some sort of lace. Now again, I've got this that I'm hoarding, so this seems very wasteful to use that. So I'm not sure I can quite bring myself to use that there. Let me just see what else I've got. Want something that's not too big. What's this? What is this? Okay. Oh, that might be, yeah, that might be nice. So again, just going to take this, pop this across here. So like that. Okay, where's my scissors? Oh, where are they now? Literally, I had them just now. Where have they gone? Oh, shout if you can see my scissors. Don't know what I have done with those. Honestly, I mean, how could I have now lost the scissors within the last, like, couple of minutes? Oh, there now. I've obviously moved them and put them underneath all the bits and pieces that I had there to the side. Right, okay. So, yeah, that, like that. How gorgeous does that look? Love how that looks. So, so pretty. And, you know, again, I mean, that's really taken very little, you know, to bring that together, hasn't it? Because, again, we've had those gorgeous pieces already made, which, of course, then have made it just, you know, effortless to, you know, to bring it all together. So, yeah. Right, let's just have a look and see what time it is, because I'm not sure now how long I've been filming for. Not too bad. 27 minutes. So we could probably do something else. I mean, what we should do probably is just fill the envelope up, but let's come back to that. So, right, I used my book page pocket there. So I've got some other book page pockets, which I also made for this journal. So we could put one on this page. I don't like having them too close to one another because, again, you know, I'm not that keen when you've got the same types of pieces, you know, smack bang next to each other. It seems a bit strange. So let's take that, and I'm just literally trimming it down. I could have done with cutting this smaller before stitching it, but hey, I thought I'd trimmed enough off to get away with it, but obviously I hadn't. So again, just going to quickly ink the page up, you know, and I'm only inking the pages up a little bit, just, you know, I mean, it's very rough and ready, but just so it's got that vintage kind of well, not grubby vibe, but, you know, discoloured vibe. I nearly said grubby. I mean, hello, nobody wants a grubby journal, do they? I meant discoloured. Vintagey discolouredness. Vintagey discoloration would probably be better to describe that as. Yep. Okay, right. So that there. Now again, might have it kind of higher rather than right at the bottom. There is a tendency to always put things right at the bottom, and, you know, I don't know what that's about, to be honest, but yeah, there's no need to constantly put things right at the bottom, is there? So this again is one of those just flimsy pages, so, you know, I don't want to necessarily, or, you know, I don't want to have heavy bulky things hung on a flimsy page, so I'm just going to ink that up here because, you know, just the same reasons as I said before. Once I've got some pieces glued down, it's just going to make it harder to get to be able to ink it up. So I'll just ink these up now. Okay. Now I've got this. These were part of those bits that I made with my daughter quite recently. So I think that's quite nice to just be able to pop on as a little embellishment piece. And I think, yeah, probably pop that on like that. I'm just going to weigh this page down for a minute. I have got some of my little vintage labels, so we could have one of these somewhere. Oops. Because obviously, you know, this does look quite vintage, so I think we can get away with that. Now, do we want to have any of this stuff? Okay, let's just have a quick look. Maybe something like that on there. So I'm just going to tear this down a bit more. We'll just ink this on up a bit. Okay. And I will just ink this book page pocket up a bit as well. I mean, like I said before about the other one, this is a vintage book page, but, you know, just because they're vintage, they're not necessarily very discoloured, you know. And this one is an example of that, you know, it's not particularly discoloured or anything. But, yeah, I just probably would prefer to have a bit more sort of coloration on there. So let's just hold that down for a moment. Okay. Yeah, quite like that. Right, what else do we want on there? Just have a look around and see what else have I got here. I have got some vintage postage stamps. Let's just pull those in. This one's quite brown. I don't know why he's got holes in. He's like been punched by a, you know, one of those little punchy machines, which is weird, isn't it? I don't know why. Don't know why he would have been. Let's just see about this. Maybe across the top, or even across the bottom, or even across the middle. Quite like it at the top, I think. Just going to have to take my cardigan off, I'm afraid, because, yeah, getting a bit warm in here. Okay, right. Yeah, I think something like that. So, pop this one down. And then the postage stamp again, just going to discolour that. Discolour it, ink it. Ink it so it looks discoloured. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Like that. Okay. And then the label on here, maybe down there. Just having a quick another look through, seeing what else I might have. I might also like maybe a flower or something on here, I think. Might be quite sweet. So yeah, let's put that like that, and then right, just going to see what flowers I've got. Whether I've got any that are sort of ivory that would look good on here. So I've just got this one. Okay. Oops. So if we were to have the lace across there, now would we want to have a flower down here? I'm going to have to put this label down because it's just moving around and being a bit annoying, keep moving. So yeah, let's just pop that down there. Okay. So yeah, and then oops, let's just check what else I've got. Just keep those couple of flowers out, I think. Let's just take that. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Okay, right. So I'm just going to ink these flowers up a little bit. That one. And this one. Okay, right. Okay, let's just take a bit more glue around the edge. Okay, right. So that looks very nice. And then, do we want to have any other thing on there? I'm thinking maybe a butterfly or something might be quite nice on there. Let me just have a look and see. Is that one? It's very green. Yep, not that one. Oh, that one's quite bright. Okay, I don't think I've got any that are suitable there. Let me just have a look here. I have got some more. So yeah, let me know what you're working on. Hope you're doing a lovely project, having a good time. What's your type of favourite project? You know, what project is your favourite type of thing to work with? Do you like working with vintage stuff? Are you a bit like me and hoard it and then not really want to use vintage things, you know? Yeah, what's your favourite kind of style? I'm now thinking, actually, let's take that ivory ribbon, which is now dropped on the floor. Let me just grab it. Hold on. Oops. Oh, I have a long way to reach now, because now I'm on a stool. I'm not so near the floor as I was on my chair. So I'm now actually thinking, let's glue this together just here, like that. Okay, and then just going to cut that down. Like that, and then what do we think to that here? Oh, that's quite pretty, isn't it? Yeah, so I'm just going to pop this down on here, like that, and then that run of lace across the top, like that. Oops. There. Oh, that's very pretty, isn't it? Yeah. Let me just snip that out on the side, like that. And I just suddenly then thought, actually, just before I am done with that, just going to see if I've got some button embellishments which are not too bulky. So kind of like smallish buttons that could possibly go on this page at all. So let's just bring a couple in. They're just literally here beside my desk, so yeah. Right, let's just have a look. Okay. Oh, not that one. That's not bad. Or that one. So yeah, if we've got that one there, this here. That one might be a bit big, so probably this. Yeah, probably that, I think. Looks very pretty, doesn't it? So, yeah. Okay, now I'm wondering whether I might glue this as a top loading pocket. So, again, just going to hot glue this down just for speed. Like that. And just come down here with that one. Like that. Looking good. Okay. And then this little button embellishment there. Now the only thing is, obviously that button is going to be a little bit bulky here, which is a sort of plain page, but I'm not too worried about that, to be honest. You know, I think it will all kind of even out by the end anyway. So yeah, let's just pop that down there. And then on the facing page, I'm just going to have this little piece here, I think. So yeah, again, just Pop some lace, pop some glue there, straight along the top. And that can just go at the top there. Looking good, looking good. Right, loving how that's looking. And again, you know, I can just then pop a couple of photos in here. And, you know, that's it, my pockets are then stuffed. So, yeah, hope you like how it's coming along. I'm loving, I must say, working in this vintage journal. I don't very often do vintage things, like I say, you know, just all vintage and all quite neutral because, yeah, I'm too busy hoarding things normally. So I hope you like how it's coming along and think it's quite different, really, for me. And, yeah, let me know below kind of how you get on. Do you use your vintage things? Do you hoard them like I do? You know, what's the kind of best vintage thing you've ever made? How was the best, you know, way that you've ever found to use vintage pieces? You know, yeah, let everybody know below. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks then.